Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Dadgummit. Today is a Thursday, June the 5th, 2025 for you. It is Wednesday evening, June the 4th, 2025, same year for us. Keep that in mind moving forward because we're going to absolutely say today, tomorrow, tonight's, yesterday's. Absolutely guaranteed. Keep that in mind. All right, we got a fantastic show because recruiting is in full gear. Official visit season is, what do you call it? Full throttle.
Full throttle.
Full throttle.
That's it.
We're going to talk about the weekend that was, the midweek that is, and the weekend that will be. Plus, we're going to answer some questions from the corner, and we're going to talk recruiting. As JG Tate would say, recruiting. That was terrible.
I can't do it. Recruiting.
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
If you haven't already noticed, I'm joined by two handsome young fellas. Cole looks like he just came out of the kegger, man.
Listen. I've told y'all this before. It is a blessing and a curse to have a wife who is a hairstylist.
Oh yeah,
because she will get to you last at times when she's busy, and you have to just be like, I get it.
Hey, work me in, big dog. Work me in.
I'll do the swoosh for a while. Mm-hmm. I can do it.
Cole Pinkston, Alan Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you, big dog?
How about you?
I'm with you. Cole looks like he's straight out of the SAE house, talking about no, son, I haven't seen your cereal. You know what I mean?
Well, I just came from the beach.
His drip and riz is evident.
Oh, look at Jeffrey.
Well, we talked about this, Alan. You weren't there.
Yeah.
As Jeffrey would say, the beach is that way.
Oh, all right. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk, like I said, we got the weekend that was, the will be, and what's going on right now. Before we do, I want to get to, I'm rocking my Rowback tonight. So the weekend is the recruiting show. You know how many ways there are to describe Rowback? Just one. Best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Rowback, they're completely changing the English language as well as the game, and with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Rowback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs like the one I'm wearing for some of your favorite schools, including Auburn, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Rowback's everyday shorts, their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing. They are both super comfortable, have an elastic waistband and great fabric that is made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Rowback has been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars, past, present, and are becoming the go-to for college athletes across the country. Use the promo code freaking Auburn20, AUBURN20 on Rowback.com for 20% off all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK.com, 20% off all performance, polos, shorts, and more with the promo code Auburn20, AUBURN20.
Jeffrey, I'm not gonna lie. I wore my Rowback shirt at the beach.
Did you? Did you rock the Aubie?
Nice.
The little Aubies, yes.
Oh, sweet.
It's a good shirt, man. We don't wear Auburn stuff really, but
right.
It's
too
shirt.
Nice not to, right?
Have to wear it. Have to. Yeah.
It's too nice not to. Too nice not to. All right. Hey, let's take a quick glance back at the weekend that was. I think there ended up being 14 official visitors. Headliner was Jira Edwards, the 5-star safety from Maryland. He was there with his teammate Wayne Henry. You had 4-star quarterback Landon Duckworth, 4-star linebackers TJ White, Jacquez Wilkes, Jamarian Matthews, the Alabama commit came over. Hezekiah Harris was back in town. Valdon Sone, defensive lineman, I think he's from Sweden originally. He's in school in Virginia.
Yes.
And Tyrek Green, Anthony Davis, Daryl Trey Bell, Wilson Zaire, Jelani Miller, Billy Pritchett, and more. So I tell you what, guys, let's just take what were some of your biggest takeaways from this weekend? We'll start with Cole. What do you take away from this past weekend's group, Cole? Anything that stood out, some things that maybe caught your eye? guys you're feeling good about, guys you're not. I know you had a fantastic piece on Auburn Live, kind of an insider from the weekend, feeling it, not feeling it. I love that. I guess kind of rehash that for our listeners here and watchers, you voyeurs.
Yeah. I think probably, like you said, the headliner being Jira. I feel like every time Auburn gets him on campus, they get a boost in that recruitment. And sometimes, we feel that way just because the visit high thing. But he really, I think it's because he feels so comfortable there. I mean, I don't know if anybody can match the comfortability that Auburn's giving him right now. So I want to see how that plays in this recruitment. It's going to be tough. It's tight with all of his schools. Georgia, Oregon, who else? Alan, like Ohio State, maybe.
A&M,
Alabama,
Ohio
State, Florida. Florida's also in the mix there.
I almost liken this recruitment to KJ Bolden. It's just going to be NIL is just going to be a big part of it. It just is. And it's not necessarily that's the main thing to him. It's just that's how good he is. Right.
Sure.
So is Auburn going to be in that game, especially after you just got Fagans and Winners? I mean, you had to kind of go all out for those. I don't know how it plays out yet, but that's the one where I go, man, every time he shows up, it just gets better and better for Auburn. So that's my takeaway from his OV. I tell you, I put him in my not feeling it category, but I don't know. I feel like Auburn might be a little bit heavier now on Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it wasn't heavy. It was at first, and we thought
we used clear me to share.
There's a chance that Anthony Davis is in the class, is what we thought at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it fell off. Anytime a guy you think is the leader and he doesn't commit and it falls off, you go, okay, there's a reason for that. Well, I think Auburn might. I think DJ Durkin likes him, and I think that's been the case the whole time. I'm just trying to find out his fit. That's my main thing. Like, where does he fit in the class? And we had a lot of questions about Anthony Davis, and I wanted to touch on him for that reason. I just don't know. Is he a dime? He told us Will, Jeffrey. He told us he's a Will backer.
We got some good questions answered. I thought the two most important with him, Cole, were how do you feel like a priority? Where do they see you playing? And he answered both of those with very telling quotes. I mean, I'm sure they're not telling him, hey, man, we're going to slow play you until we figure out what are these other guys doing. But
no.
They were just, I'm a priority for them, and they really want me, and they can show how they can develop me at a high level. That was his answer to that question.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Cole. Go ahead.
No,
and then the position.
Those are the two that come to mind. First off, I'll have some more thoughts as we get to talking about these guys, but those are the two main things where I was like, I was really counting Davis out. I just didn't see it. I didn't see a great fit. And I do, by the way, I think he's a really good linebacker, Anthony Davis. See ball, get ball kind of guy. He gets overshadowed a little bit because he plays next to Tyler Atkinson.
Yeah.
But he holds his own, man. He's a good linebacker. Where does he fit on the college level? He's a little skinny, a little tall and skinny. He's got that going on. So where does that fit when you look at him next to a Jacquez Wilkes, right? So that's my main thoughts.
Speaking of,
yeah, he was there too.
I gotta ask, because you guys see him in person. Is this like JJ Falk, where he's going to start out at linebacker and you think he's going to grow into an edge because his body is just already carrying 240 pounds?
Who are we talking about?
The main man you got on the screen.
Okay, Jacquez, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar, Alan. But, I mean, it seems like DJ Durkin wants these taller, bigger linebackers to play in the middle. That seems to be something he likes. You go back to who was the guy he had at A&M? Edgerrin Cooper, was that his name?
Yes. Yeah.
That guy's like 6'4". He was pretty good.
Very good.
The other guy he had was Torian York, and I don't know his size, but size, man, he seems to like that. And JJ Falk, I've seen him. He looks like he holds his own, just running out there in coverage and doing those kind of things. But I'm with you. I mean, his body definitely lends towards maybe playing on the edge one day. That's what it looks like.
He is pretty. I was going to run down this list and see if anything else jumped out at me. from this past week in Gyra. Landon didn't get to talk to him. He has not fielded any interviews since that visit. He has, oddly enough, received a crystal ball or whatever you call them. What do you call them? RPM prediction from Wilt Fong to South Carolina, which I think it was on Ole Miss. Who knows? I feel like both of those schools, and you can even look over here. It is South Carolina, Ole Miss. I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe it's not one of those two schools, even after the official visit, just doing some digging behind the scenes. I think NIL is going to be big. We've talked about this many, many times with Auburn and the NIL and what they're going to do at quarterback this year. They used a first-round draft pick in the 2025 class. You're not going to do that again. But hell, let's be honest here. Auburn used 2 first-round draft picks in 2025 class. All right?
Yeah, they did.
So you would think that they're not going to go big for the quarterback here. I'll just give you my quick takes real quick. TJ White, I think Auburn got in. I think Coles is going to line up with a lot of things that you said in your story. TJ White, I think Auburn's in it for him now. I don't know that they were before. This was his first visit, so I think they got in. Jacquez Wilkes, still feel really good about him. Jamarian Matthews, not feeling it. I don't know where you got that goal.
Yeah, no, he was in my not feeling it category.
Hezekiah had a really good visit. And he's going to visit, I think, Florida and Tennessee. But, I asked him about his brother being there. That's a big deal. I feel like Auburn shored up with him. Sonay Cole, what'd you feel about him? I didn't get to talk to him.
Great interview from him, by the way. Number one thing for him, without a doubt, he said it. He was like, this is early playing time. I've got to be able to get in there and play.
Okay.
Which is interesting because the pitch all weekend from Vontrell King Williams was, we got a spot for you. I mean, you see what we done. We had 2 freshman All-Americans back-to-back. Keldrick Falk, Malik blocked. You're right in line. You're a nose guard, but you can play 3. So you're kind of versatile. I think kind of like maybe Bobby Travis is being used right now.
Yeah.
But they see him as a high talent. I think he's way up there on the board. I even put him in my top 10 most wanted for defense. After this, Florida, I think might be the team to beat here. So you have to overcome that. Okay. And he's got other official visits, so you know how that plays. It could go a lot of ways, but Florida is the one I'm hearing the most about. Oklahoma's in there.
Yeah,
I think Auburn made a huge impression on him when he realized, man, the 2 freshman All-Americans on the defensive front. I can play multiple positions. They got a spot for me. I think a light bulb went off for him, and he was like, oh, Auburn, I need to be giving them more of a look. I even heard that from another source too. So they sat down and looked at some schools and were like, where do we need to take official visits? And one of the schools he named was Auburn because of Vontrell King Williams has been on him so much. Man. And I think they knocked it out of the park with him.
And I do think I'm sorry, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead if you want some Sonay there. Alan.
Sure. No, I was going to say I think that Vontrell and Jeremy Garrett, his predecessor, did a phenomenal job of rotating bodies through, and they're able to sell the rotation. Maybe you're not a starter, but you're able to get snaps as a true freshman, and they're finally getting to the point that if you can accrue some of the bodies or some of the prospects they've had on campus in this class, well, now you're 3 classes deep of recruiting a really nice defensive line room where you're going to have quality D-line, 3 deep, rolling all the way through. And they love to play 8 bodies. I mean, I think that's what they would really like to play is have a bunch of guys that are giving you 15 to 20 snaps a game. I mean, you're always going to have your starters. You're going to play those 30, 40 snaps, right?
Yeah.
But they want a lot of guys that can play 15 to 20 and give you everything they have. Very similar approach to what Kirby Smart does at UGA, where you're keeping bodies fresh. You're talking about 300-plus pound offensive linemen that want to lean on you all game long. And you saw probably during the Harsin era and even in the first year of Freeze where you just didn't have the depth that you wanted to have, but they've attacked it through rotation. And now they're able to sell that rotation and the quality of it and how it can prepare you for the NFL. So I think that's going to be a big piece for him. And I'm with you on Florida. Oklahoma scares me somewhat too. Todd Bates has done a phenomenal job there. If you're looking at defensive lines in the SEC, I think they might have the best defensive line coming back this season. He's a plus recruiter and somebody that does a great job. You wonder about Brent Venables. He's in a very kind of tenuous situation there. What's the long-term trajectory for him? But as far as a recruiter and a defensive line coach, hard to beat Todd Bates. So I think Oklahoma and Florida will both be tough competition for Auburn. But when I asked around, and I think they're definitely in the mix here for Sone for sure.
Yeah. I think part of the pitch too was probably we've had to go to the portal.
Yeah.
For defensive line, really heavy. They probably showed them the names. Like, we had to go get these guys because we had holes, massive holes. And if we get you, a guy who can come in and contribute with what we had come in last year as freshmen that will play this coming season, now we're to a point where you're the guy that fills the hole instead of a transfer. I think that was part of the pitch. I think it just spoke to him. You could tell. When talking to him afterwards, it was like he's like, yeah, they're going to use me. That's a big deal.
Let's see, Tyreek Green. Man, what do you think, Cole?
Not feeling it.
I hear you. We talked about Anthony Davis.
Think that Tyreek Green might end up at Georgia.
That'd be something. I mean, he's got some damn visits lined up. I mean,
listen, I don't know if you've watched him, Alan. He's a really good athlete. I think he could play a lot of different positions. The question again is, where does he fit? Where's his best fit? And you can't question it in this league. You have to know, and that's probably what holds him back a little bit with Auburn. But I think Georgia looks at him kind of like maybe a Tyke Smith that they had a few years ago. Not a tall guy, a little stout, good run support safety because they use that in their defense. So that makes sense to me. Auburn likes him, though. I mean, they wouldn't have brought him in.
Right.
They didn't like him for sure.
Another guy that was kind of, Trey Bell, Darrell Bell, Florida State commitment. He came in kind of like built the same as Tyreek.
He is. He's I like his film a lot, too. I think he's pretty good. He's a safety. So it's interesting, with what we know about safety and Jira Edwards, Braylon Womack.
Right.
Then you had two safeties in Tyreek Green and Darrell Bell. I mean, what does that say exactly? Like, we need to make sure we're good here, right?
Let's see. Wilson, Zaire, and Jelani. Let's see. Then you get your three offensive linemen. We talked about Wayne Henry, Jira teammates. He seems locked in. I think he's going to visit like Indiana and Wisconsin.
I think he's already taken an OV to Indiana.
Yes.
Okay.
And they've got a former teammate there. Is it Baldwin? I think Baldwin.
Byron Baldwin.
Byron Baldwin. There we go.
The three offensive linemen there was three offensive line. Wilson Zaire, Jaylani Miller, and Parker Dooley Pritchett. Cole, you like where Auburn sits with this Arizona cat?
I do. Yeah, I think this official visit was so important for him, and I don't think both parents were. I think he was just with his mom. Is what it looked like, Jeffrey. But I think she was impressed, and that was what I've been hearing was the most important thing. They needed to get her there and see things, see how it goes, get a good feel of it, because you're trying to convince this guy to leave his home. And it's hard, man. I mean, you saw what happened with Nate Marshall a year ago. At the very end, he goes, I got to stay closer to home. Sorry. Auburn, but got to stay closer.
Did you see what he said about that? He said, my parents will move wherever I go.
I saw that.
So
yeah.
Go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry. We keep cutting you off.
No, you're good. I just thought that was a very intriguing part of the story. For a kid that you're recruiting from the West Coast to have parents that are wanting to be that involved and to move where their son's going to be, that definitely makes you feel like if you're Auburn, you're not just spinning your wheels here, right?
Right.
Like that you actually have an opportunity. And that was my number one takeaway from this weekend, kind of reading some of y'all's reports. And when I asked certain people kind of their impression on things, I thought this was a big weekend for Jake. You had 3 offensive line targets on campus, 3 that are becoming priority recruits. I mean, I think, Cole, you've got them in your top 10 as far as offensive prospects wanted within this class.
Yep.
Jaylani Miller being a combo guy, somebody that they're recruiting as a tackle that could also be featured inside, and that's probably his best position. Parker Pritchard, who we know is a guard. And then Wilson, is it Zier?
I've been saying Zero. Of course, we didn't talk to him after, so
Zaire.
Yeah, we'll put that South Alabama accent on it.
Killian Zaire. That's how I used to pronounce Killian's name.
I did
Killian
too,
Zaire.
for some reason, I'm liking Zero better now, and I don't know why that is.
Okay.
But however,
tomato, right? We're gonna go.
Would you like to buy a vowel?
No doubt. But we're gonna go Zaire here for this one, but a pure tackle and someone that has shot up the board. Georgia obviously made a huge move for him last weekend. Auburn got him, and not only him, but his brother, who we all know is Killian, on campus this weekend. Thought that was big for them. I thought Auburn played some cards, as Cole put it, very nicely, that they needed to play to get back out in front of this one. This is a priority for them. They need to land this one. I think landing all three of these guys in this class, these are big bodies, guys. Do you remember what the offensive line looked like just 4 years ago?
I do.
Think about some of the recruits that they're bringing in, the frames that they're bringing in, the athleticism, the size. It's just transforming. We talked about the defensive line before, transforming that side of the ball. But the offensive line right before us, if you land this recruiting class paired with last year, paired with some of what they've done in the portal, you're really starting to make an effort at changing what your offensive line can be. And I think we all know that in the SEC, it is the line of scrimmage, both offense and defense, and quarterback play that are going to drive you to a championship. And Auburn is finally, if they land some of the prospects we're talking about here, they're going to change their fortune there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jeffrey, we talked about it on the call-in, but now you resonated on it a little bit. What do you make of him not interviewing? Is that a big deal to you? The other ones we just kind of missed him. With him, he said to us like,
knowing, and listen, I've talked to him 2 or 3 times. Every time he's come to Auburn, and it's not just like, hey, how you doing? We're chopping it up with him as well as Killian. So there's a rapport there. It's not great, but it's not strictly business. And Cole, I really thought, I think it was you who said, he went through a lot after the Georgia, because he was so open and honest with his interview after that Georgia visit that it really, really stirs some things up in his recruiting world.
It did.
Sure.
And he's kind of a quiet kid. And so I think after that, he may have learned, hey, man, maybe I just need to keep quiet.
Yeah, don't put too much on record, right?
Right. I think you nailed it. I think you hit it out of the park on that. And I really feel like I don't read too much into him at all. And being able to at least have eye contact with him, and he was, I think he actually said, I'll text you or something like that. Well, I mean, that was just his way of being polite,
right?
And not being a prude walking out and acting like he didn't see us. I really don't make anything more than that. Cole, I thought you hit it out of the park with that. I think you're dead on. He just wanted to lay low.
Well, it was kind of like Jay Lamar. You remember and he did talk to us, but he started the interview and he said, Clemson's not my favorite school. I am open. I am open. I don't have any favorites. Everybody's on the same.
Because he had just left Clemson the week before and named Clemson his leader. And it wasn't like he was like, hey, everybody, Clemson's my leader. He said it in passing. And of course, that's your headline. Yeah. That's your headline as a journalist. It's the big news. And when you do that as a kid and you're pretty quiet and reserved, you go, oh man, I didn't mean for all this to happen. And all of it happened because I said one thing. So maybe I'm just going to go on out of here and, because they're going to ask me, who's leading, maybe I just need to keep on be quiet. So I didn't make anything of that at all.
No. And it's not just from a media perspective, right, of what you're creating for yourself, but think about the coaches that read these stories, and let's not pretend that they don't.
They do.
Sure. There is a staffer that reads every recruiting article that comes out about a top tier prospect on their board. And the second that a leader is announced, I guarantee you there is a text placed or a phone call made like, hey, what's going on here? So on and so forth, right? Just trying to make sure you get him back on the hook.
You remember Caleb Cunningham a year ago?
Yeah.
No, see, he played it up. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Like he was like, where are y'all? I'm leaving. And let me tell you how great Auburn is.
And I don't think it was like a game, though. I mean, not that you're saying that. I think he was being genuine. Like
it was the visit high.
As of today, this is my favorite.
Dude, he made Auburn his leader like 3 times. Every time he visited, Auburn's number one,
I believe the quote was, "I told the staff they're number one with me." I think is what he said to us, if I remember correctly. Even then, when he said it, when it came out of his mouth, I was like, "That's an interesting way to word that."
No, isn't it? All right. So moving on, Auburn's got 2 midweek visitors in. As you listen to this, they probably have left or are leaving. Corey Wells, the 4-star defensive tackle from Mississippi, and the 4-star defensive lineman as well, Preston Carey from IMG in Florida.
Would you like to know an interesting fact about Preston Carey?
Would love to know an interesting fact about Mr. Preston. Is he related to Jim?
Actually, I don't know.
Harry. What about Harry?
Harry. Yeah.
I have Jim Carey played in.
No, that was Will Ferrell.
Stepbrothers. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it was Will Ferrell.
It was Will Ferrell.
He did a really good job too, by the way.
He did a fantastic job.
3 actually. I think I've said a few of these. He's from Long Island.
Yes.
Originally.
He looks like a New Yorker.
Yep, he's a New Yorker. Originally, he's at IMG now. The second one was that his sister just graduated from Auburn, which I think we talked about that. Third, he wears a full suit on his official visits.
No kidding.
Does he really?
At least this is what I've heard. And I think there's a picture of him in one at an official visit. So that will be interesting. That will be a first for me.
Interesting.
Did that nugget come from one Keith Niebuhr down at Florida?
It did.
No way. That's a total Niebuhr nugget.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that is absolutely the kind of recruiting information I would expect.
He told me about it, but I had already seen a picture, and I was like, "Is he wearing a suit on an OV? That's awesome."
Yeah, nothing wrong with dressing for success.
Very impressive. Both of those, man. The defensive line group that they're bringing in is pretty impressive on paper. Just these 2 midweek guys, and then Corey Wells. Let's talk about him for a minute.
Big target. I think I put a note up on the board on Friday night that I thought Auburn was in a better position with Corey Wells than a lot of people have given them credit for, and I would place them presently, if my sourcing is right on this, in the top 2, with it being Auburn and Ole Miss presently right now. I think Auburn has an opportunity to make a move here. I think did he visit Ole Miss last weekend? I think that he did. And if he did,
yes,
that gives Auburn an opportunity to meet or exceed the official visit experience that Ole Miss provided. And then, like so many other kids,
there you go, guys.
There's going to be, look at that.
Oh,
it's not like it's like a jacket, I think. And then it's
he's Don Johnson's son.
He styles it up. So I mean,
little Miami Vice action.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it, man. I'm a fan. Big fan of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alan.
But back to Corey, there will be an NIL conversation. And how much does Auburn value him? How much does Ole Miss value him? How much does that matter to him? There are various facets in recruitments that will get teams discounts. What is your, are you getting guys to the league? Are you winning?
Yeah.
What is my relationship with my recruiter? Are things ballpark in NIL? Is there a significant difference? So there's a lot of conversations to be had, but I do believe that Auburn is in a very good position with Corey Wells. They can make this a very advantageous visit, and I'll be anxious to see what both of your reporting is going to be and what he has to say. If anything, this may be another one that goes silent, right?
Yeah.
You have to leave that opportunity there as well. But I think he's somebody who's a high priority for Auburn. I know, Cole, you've talked about that ad nauseum, but one that Auburn is in a good position to land should everything fall into place.
That's a good point too, Alan, about having that one factor that can, outweigh NIL, so to speak.
Sure.
Let's get to some questions. I think Zach picked 5 questions from the corner, and then we'll take a little preview, a little peek over the fence at what's to come this weekend.
Before we move, can I ask y'all a quick question before we move on from last week? So with my 3 categories that I have, which are I think Auburn potentially is in the lead for. That's number one.
Okay.
Auburn helped itself with.
Okay.
That's number two. And then not feeling it. Okay. So I'm just going to read off a name from last week's OVs, and y'all tell me which category they belong in.
Got it.
In your opinion. Is that cool? Y'all like that?
Lead 4, moved 4, not feeling it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to go bottom
Lead
to top.
4, top 5, not feeling it. Okay.
Jamarian Matthews.
Nope.
Not feeling it.
Tyreek Green.
Ty Boogie. Not feeling it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anthony Davis.
Middle.
Move 4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Landon Duckworth.
Not feeling it.
Mm-mm.
Daryl Trey Bell.
Move 4.
Nah.
Not feeling it.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to go with move 4. I think there's some movement on that one.
Okay. Valden Sonnet.
Moved 4.
Move 4 for sure. I'm contemplating lead 4.
Ooh. Okay. TJ White.
Moved 4.
Yeah, move 4. I've got questions as it pertains to Auburn's present linebacker class.
I do
Does
too.
Shadarius Tootle stick? If he sticks, I don't see a place for TJ White.
What about for Davis? If Tootle sticks, does anything change there?
No, because I don't think Jermichael Garrett's long for this class, if I'm being honest.
We visited Ole Miss this past weekend.
Yep.
I'm with you. Jira Edwards.
Lead 4.
Oh, wow. I thought about it, Alan. I put him in the mood for category, but boy, I really had to think about it.
I'm going to let Jeffrey speak, and then I'm going to say what I'm.
No, you say, because I'm thinking, man, I that's a great one.
Okay. I think Auburn presently leads 4, and I would put the percentage for landing one of these two between him and Braylon Womack over 50%. I think Auburn is that committed to landing one of these top 2 safety targets in this class.
I can't disagree with that at all.
I think they would like to land both, and I think they've got an opportunity to land both. Competition's stiff, which makes me hedge my bets of saying you land one of 2. But right now, I do think, given his comfort level with Auburn, given that I believe that Auburn is ballpark in that NIL game with everybody else that is recruiting him and the relationships that he has with this coaching staff, I'm going to put Auburn as lead 4 right now.
So do you think on July the 5th, 1 month from today, when he announces his commitment, you think as of today it will be Auburn?
I do.
Okay. I'm in the long game with Jira, not the short game.
Okay.
I don't think he commits to Auburn on July the 5th.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean a damn thing to me. He's going to come back for at least 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be back and it's going to go all the way down to the wire with him. But I think if Auburn is going to sign him, they're going to have to flip him from a Georgia or somebody.
Maybe Alabama. I know they made a big impression. And that's the other team I'm looking at is I think Alabama's the one.
Interesting.
So that's why he's on the cusp of lead 4, but I've got him in that in between the first and second category.
Okay. I think that's a fair assessment, Jeffrey.
Well, you'd have to think if Alabama were the choice on July 5th, he's got no problem with moving to Alabama.
No, he doesn't.
Right.
I mean, he's definitely not staying in Maryland. I would put probably the top 3 for him right now of Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama. Those would be the top 3. I think Oregon was up there for him, but I believe they're outside looking in right now. Texas A&M also a factor, but I don't believe they necessarily sit in his top 5 the way they once did.
And let's not forget about what he said in his interview was, these guys want me to come down here to the Iron Bowl and commit after Auburn beats Alabama. And I'm going, dude, don't put it past Hugh Freeze to go and commit to Alabama on July the 5th and then come over here and flip to us right after the Iron Bowl.
What a statement that would be.
I ain't putting it past him now.
Jira's an open book when he talks, man. He don't care. He says whatever he's thinking, which is cool. I mean, he always liked that too. But he's the one that, Alan, I don't know as much about his contenders, which is why I was sitting there going, when I was making that article, I was like, Who is the clear-cut number 2? I'm not sure. And anytime that's the case and you feel pretty good about where Auburn stands, it's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it, but I didn't go that far. I'm even closer to putting him in that category now.
Sure.
But I always try to kind of like if you've ever played the video game in recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
there's a one pitch that you use to get the guy, right?
Sure.
In real life, I always go, now what's the one? There's a one. And for him, I've heard him say it twice now, generational wealth. He goes, I'm looking past NIL.
Yeah. NFL development, right?
I'll make money in college, sure, whatever. I'm going to make generational wealth in the NFL. Who can get me there? That's number 1 for him.
And that's where I put Georgia, Alabama as your 2.
That makes sense.
As your steepest.
Alabama hadn't developed shit. They've been there for 1 year. I mean, they haven't. If it was Nick Saban, I would say absolutely.
Sure.
Well, that's
Georgia's your developer.
But it's the Alabama brand, right? Like that's what they're selling him. Is there's been no change, right? It's the same developmental model,
which I don't understand. Like Alabama is killing it in recruiting, freaking killing it, Saban-esque style, 11 level. I mean, what are they right now? I think they're top 5, and I think maybe USC is only ahead of them because they've got 35 commitments.
Yeah, sure,
right.
Well, I mean,
wait a minute, Alabama's where? Oh, they're number 10.
Yeah.
With 5 commitments,
but they're
leading for like 7 5-stars.
Yeah, like Cedarian Morgan and EJ Crowell, a couple other guys. So,
yeah, I mean, once the recruiting dominoes start to fall, you'll see Alabama in that top 2 or 3, and rightfully so. Look, if you're the Alabama brand, you went 9-3 last year. You're telling everybody, "Hey, we just didn't have the quarterback that fits my system. Nothing else has changed defensively. We're still going to be elite. I'm a football coach that's coached in a college football playoff, right? I've gotten my team to a national championship game. I know what I'm doing." By comparison, and this isn't me taking a shot at Hugh Freeze, it may come off that way. Hugh doesn't have that same recruiting pitch right now. Auburn is overcoming 4 years worth of mediocrity and has not had a winning season in 5+ seasons. 2019 was the last time that you won 9+ ball games. And so a lot, and Cole, you have continuously said this, but a lot of Auburn's recruiting success, there are going to be guys who are going to commit to Auburn. Don't get me wrong. I think Auburn's going to get to about 15 commitments before toe meets leather in September.
I agree.
But I think there are going to be guys that are going to need to see more from Auburn. They're going to need to see, and this is where you may be right on the long game with Jaira. I need to see Auburn be productive on the field. I need to see that at my position, they are going to get me to the NFL, and I'm going to be a high-round draft pick. And the only reason why I'm bypassing that or leaning Jaira's way is that defensive back has been the one position at Auburn that they have developed for the last 4 years. You can sell him on, hey, regardless of our standing in the SEC, we have continued to develop defensive backs. Maybe not to the degree of some of these other schools, but we have been able to put guys in the league.
Not to mention they seem to trust Durkin, the Maryland guys do.
That's the key.
And his track record,
that's a big part of it. And to your point with Alabama, man, they could win 9 games again and that not be looked at as a positive.
This is true.
That's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Let me run through the rest of these names real quick and we'll get to
sure.
Wayne Henry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lead 4.
I'm recruiting him like a 5-star.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Dooley.
Lead 4.
And he did, by the way, he said something about a Florida OV and he said June 6th. I'm not sure that's on 100%, but he's working out some OVs. He is going to take some OVs. So
no, I don't care.
Jelani Miller.
Made a move 4. I'm contemplating lead 4.
Same. I'm the same place. Probably after that visit, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, as of right now, I wouldn't doubt Auburn leads for him.
Well, that quote stands out to me where he said that his parents would move to wherever he goes, because that's not what I heard. But what I heard was that winning the parents in this one was going to be as important as any, and that tracks. That makes sense. Now that I hear that, I'm going, well, no wonder they're going to go with him. So that's a big deal. So So I'm glad that tracks. That makes me feel even better about what I've been hearing. Wilson Zaire.
Lead 4.
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's tough.
I'll go with lead 4.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I'm going to say the need to win this one. Auburn will do what eventually needs to be done to get this one done.
Yeah.
Jake needs to win this one.
Badly.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. Hezekiah Harris.
Lead 4.
2 thumbs up.
Jacquez Wilkes.
2 thumbs up.
Lead 4. Yeah.
Nice. All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's going to be those Wilson Zaire, Jacquez Wilkes. Those are 2 you got to get.
Yes. Yes, you do.
For perception's sake, if nothing else. All right, let's go. Wiggle, War Damn Eagle. What other quarterback targets is Auburn pursuing in this class? Well, Cole, you posted, I believe it was Tuesday evening, Auburn had offered a Penn State commitment.
Yes, I'm going to look up his name because I have forgotten.
Oh, and I got it right here. Peyton Falzoni.
Peyton Falzoni.
Or Falzone.
Sound like an Auburn quarterback name.
I have to say, there was a funny quote. It's just funny. We can laugh at it now. Somebody said, "Petition to never get another Peyton ever again." It made me laugh.
So Falzone.
Yes, recent offer, current Penn State commit. That's one I'm trying to get a little bit more information on, because for Auburn to offer this late in the game, it makes me believe that they think that he's open.
Yeah. Penn State does have a 2 quarterback, and he's actually listed as an athlete on their commitment list.
Because when I posted that, I was like, I didn't realize he was committed to Penn State.
He's from Pennsylvania. He's from Pennsylvania, committed to Penn State, and Auburn's offering him, in June. But if you look at the commitment list, they have 2 quarterbacks. They have 2 quarterbacks committed, and this guy's actually listed as an athlete. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this guy because, like I said, he's from Pennsylvania. He's committed to Penn State.
Yeah,
holler at me when he sets up a visit.
There you go. That's, to me, if he sets up an official visit, then you'll know that there's some sincere interest on his part. Right now, it makes me believe that Auburn thinks that he may be open.
Right.
And maybe they're doing some wish casting by doing that. I don't exactly know. So that's when I'll be looking for more information. Oscar Rios is a name that I've been tossed that I think could visit here relatively soon. Somebody that hasn't necessarily – I think the schools that are in contention with him are UCLA, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma State. So if you're looking at a competition standpoint, if you're Auburn, that doesn't necessarily scare you.
Sure.
I think Kentucky has also hosted him on a visit. So that's a name that I'm going to watch. Don't know that he'll visit, but I think it's somebody that Auburn is paying attention to.
Yeah.
Then you'll continue to watch Travis Burgess. I think he's a name that's going to continue to stay on the board. Auburn will evaluate him and make a decision of whether or not they are ready to commit serious resources towards that recruitment.
Yeah.
Sure.
And last but not least, Javon Gilmore, who's currently committed to Arkansas. I think that's somebody that projects well into their system that they have an eye on, and we'll see if he doesn't visit at some point this season. But that's kind of my list right now. I mean, you could put Keyshawn Henderson on there, but I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard anything there. O'Neal seems like he's firming back up to Oklahoma. It feels like Bo Bentley is trending LSU right now. And if that happens, then I think Jaden O'Neal probably sticks with Oklahoma unless that class breaks apart.
And Keyshawn Henderson, he's going to be a guy. Did you mention him just now?
I did.
Okay. He's going to be a guy that's going to pop up and visit Auburn. You watch.
Yeah, I think
and they're expecting him to.
Mm-hmm.
And I am too. And I think it could be this month.
An
OV. Kind of like Landon Duckworth just popped up out of nowhere, was like, hey, I'm going to Auburn next weekend.
Right. I know he's doing that with FSU. So he's taking visits, right? I haven't seen anything public with Auburn yet, but maybe that's by design, right? Auburn wants to hold that until they get him on campus and or right before he's set to arrive.
Probably.
I agree. quarterback recruiting will be interesting just to see which avenue they take. Are they going to take the the in-state kid that's committed to Louisville? Not that there is one. I'm just saying that kind of guy.
Sure.
Are they going to make a big move for Travis Burgess after he goes 6-0 and he's 70% completion percentage with 2 interceptions? Is that what they're going to do? Are they going to bring in more guys in the month of June? Are they going to try to go ahead and solidify somebody? What are they going to do with Duckworth, or if anything? Why are you bringing him in if you're not going to do anything?
Has there been a 2 quarterback class that's worked? I mean, like that actually signed 2 quarterbacks? Because Georgia had it, and then Dylan Raiola flipped to Nebraska, right?
Auburn did it with somebody in Steven Insminger.
Oh, man, you have to go that far back.
I think it was 2006.
What about Miami? Didn't they have Emory Williams and
who was the kid's name? He was from Spain Park, Jeffrey.
Neil Caudle.
Yes, Neil Caudle.
Neil Caudle, yeah.
Yeah.
The holder.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the national championship game, wasn't it?
Hey, that's a big deal, man.
Hey, listen, Neil was extremely physically talented. There wasn't a lot of issue with his physical talent. I just don't think he necessarily probably mentally processed the game as quickly as he needed to be successful in that system.
Let's see, they had Neil, and I think Steven was like a 2-star guy.
He was.
I remember the name. Wasn't his dad an OC?
Mm-hmm. Or the tight ends coach at the time.
Yeah,
there he is right there.
He was at LSU when they were like really good.
Yeah.
Transferred to La Tech at some point. Yeah. Insminger, JG just talked about this, was the co-OC with Brady Burrows senior year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That offense.
He was. And also the co-offensive coordinator with one Hugh Knoll trying to run Bobby Petrino's system.
Knowlesminger.
And one of my favorite lines of all time, sometimes, fellas, you just got to live to punt. Yeah.
Dude, we were me, B, Matt, and JG had the same conversation. The same everything you just said.
Did you?
3 days ago. Live to punt. Sometimes you got to. And on that team, we all agreed that was a good saying.
That was a valid yes.
Yeah, man. Listen, what if Auburn had done that last year?
That's exactly what I said, Cole. In the last 2 years.
Think about the Oklahoma game.
Yeah, imagine that.
Just eat it. Take the sack, and then what happens after that?
Handing the freaking ball off. I don't know. Knowlesminger. Jackson Daniel _ 3 players not currently committed to Auburn to buy stock in, and 3 to sell.
Okay.
I like this.
Ooh.
I got
All right.
I already got mine worked out.
Okay.
Okay. We'll start with sell.
Okay.
I'm selling Jermichael Garrett.
Good.
I'm
I'll
selling
agree.
Aiden Harris.
I'll agree.
I'm
And
selling
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm selling Derek Cooper.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give you one more. I'm selling Landon Duckworth.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Buying?
Wilson Zier.
Ooh.
I'm buying Jaquez Wilkes.
Okay.
And I'm buying Marquez Daniel.
Okay.
Gosh, it's tough, man. All right. Okay. All right.
I'm trying to give you some different ones. I agree with all of your sales. I'm probably selling. I'm definitely selling Derek Cooper.
Yeah.
I'm definitely selling Derek Cooper. Let me pull up some names.
Let me give you 3 buys. I'm looking for some sales. I got 3 buys right now.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh.
Jordan Campbell.
Whoa.
Jordan Campbell.
Linebacker commit to Miami? Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
That's putting – never mind. I'm going to back up since this is a PG show.
Y'all know you know I got to say this guy because I say him for everything. Claude Puma.
Okay.
Buying.
Wow.
And I'm buying Nolan Wilson.
Ooh, I'm ready to sell.
On Nolan?
I am too.
I think he named Alabama his leader.
It's June. I just put him in my top 10 most wanted on defense.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm selling shit. Well, I mean, some of these are really. I mean, I'm selling Tristan Keys.
Ian Acho. I'm selling
Ian Acho. I'm selling.
What about tight ends? I'm looking at some tight ends.
I am too.
Tiller? Are you selling Tiller yet?
Nope.
No,
I might even be buying him.
I would.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. How about
I'm
Corey,
selling
how about Corey Wells?
BPW.
You're a buy on Corey Wells, right, Alan?
Yes. Yes. I'm a buy on Corey. I'm a little weary on the Ole Miss piece of that, right? Because I know how they prioritize their own in-state, but I
I'll tell you
definitely
who I'm
think
buying.
Auburn's in that recruitment for sure.
I'm gonna buy Goon.
That's good. I like that.
I might buy Deron Parks.
I like it.
Might buy Dalton Toothman.
Definitely buy that, I would say. I think you get your money on that one.
I'm just looking over some of the guys who have visited already. Rodney Cleveland is a guy.
Would y'all buy or sell Rodney? That's
I'm going to buy him because I really do think he's going to end up in this class somehow.
Man, listen, I went back and forth on my top 10 on defense. There are so many guys that could have, but that's why it's a top 10, right? You have to make a call on your top 10. And it's my opinion, it's not Auburn's necessarily, but it's based off of what I've learned. And I didn't put Vodney in the top 10, which you saw, Alan. I saw you jumped in there on that.
Yes, and backed you up.
I wouldn't argue that.
Texas scares me on Vodney. Maybe not long play, but if he makes a commitment in June, like he's talking about, Texas scares me on that one.
Here's the thing with Vodney. Is Auburn going to recruit him as hard as Texas is? Is Auburn going to recruit him as hard as Florida is? Is Auburn going to show him as much love as Florida's going to show him?
I think so. I think so.
See that's the part, right? We start using the therapy words. I think, I feel, right? We don't know just
Believe.
yet. Yes.
No, I don't know.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
That's what I hate, right? Like when I don't know exactly how hard Auburn's going to press. And they may be pressing all the right buttons, right? They may be blowing this recruitment out of the water. I just don't have all the pieces yet to be able to say.
Yeah. But I'm like Cole. So the buy in me is going, I think they are. I think they're going to do that. And therefore, if they do, I'm buying.
Okay.
If they don't, I'm selling.
I decided too when I put out the 10 most wanted, I'm going to start buying Tootle. I think they're going to fight to keep Tootle.
I think so too.
I questioned it at one point, but I'm not as much now.
But is his mind already made up? Is his mind made up? Is he coming into this visit? What is it, next weekend, the 13th, I think? Is he coming into that visit going, Georgia's the team to beat? Internally.
Probably.
I think so too.
But I think he goes into the visit going, I know how I feel about that visit with Georgia, but I'm back home this weekend. Let's see how it goes.
I think go ahead, Cole.
That's home to them. I mean, we know that.
I think he needs to feel needed and wanted on this visit. Like there needs to be some serious Auburn letting him know what a priority he is.
All out. If that is in fact who they want.
Correct. And if they don't,
it'll be a quick flip, I think.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. So it'll be interesting to see how Auburn handles it. I'm with Cole on this. I think they're going to fight to keep the kid. I do.
I do too. Let me go on record saying that. Yeah, me too.
But there's a reason why I'm buying Jordan Campbell.
Okay.
I'll leave it at
that. Oh boy, Jordan Campbell.
That it would be a match. Listen, you talking about if you're putting up linebacker tape in this class, Jordan Campbell is on my list. He's above everybody else, period. He is that kind of athlete.
Him and Wilkes, to me, are the top two.
Wilkes right now, for what he is as a Mike linebacker, yes, because of the lateral agility, the physicality, the body, the frame, yes. Campbell's tape, woo.
Yeah, he's
it pops, man. Like it if you want to talk about, and he's not a big kid, but what he reminds you of is some of those linebackers that Tuberville had.
Yes.
6 foot, 210, and will just absolutely knock your dick in the dirt. Like
he reminds me of Takeo. Just I want to show you this picture.
No, he's got the neck. That's what you're thinking,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what it is. Listen, let me show you this picture.
You know who else has it?
He's from Miami, committed to Miami, and Cole's buying.
Well, Elijah Melendez was from Osceola.
He was.
But did Miami want him?
I think so.
I mean, it depends on who you listen to at Miami.
But look at him. Look at that neck. His neck's wider than his ears.
That's a good sign for a linebacker.
That's a great linebacker neck.
That's a yes. Yes.
Elijah's got the same thing going on for sure.
All right. Go ahead, Cole. Finish it up.
No, that's it. I was going to ask you on one more buy or sell.
Okay.
Braylon Womack.
I'm opposite of Allen here.
Sell?
I'm selling right now.
Oh, Womack?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was going to say I sell too.
Okay.
You're not opposite of me. That's why I think Auburn gets one of the two. And I'm leaning Jira right now. That's why I have Auburn lead for. I think Auburn will do what it has to do to land Jira Edwards and or Braylon Womack whenever their commitment date happens. I definitely sell right now on Womack, though I think that one gets interesting closer to signing day. That's the one I think long play. If Auburn has the kind of season we think they can have, 8, 9+ wins, his sister's there.
Yep.
Braylon.
Now listen, if Braylon Womack was in the same situation, if his sister was at Georgia or if his sister was at Alabama, they would make it happen. Like that, that would be too much to overcome. But for some reason, things like that at Auburn, they don't usually work out that way.
They don't. I feel differently about this one, and part of it is, to me, the in-state school is not a part of this, right? With the in-state school not being a part of this, I think Auburn they are the de facto closest school to him, right? Like where he's from, where exactly in Mississippi is it? It's
Brandon.
Hartfield, I think.
Okay.
Hartfield Academy.
I don't think he's far over the Alabama state line.
Number 1 safety in the country.
Yes, and a lot of versatility to his game. I think he's a guy that could play star for you. I think he's a guy that could play the field safety spot. Very talented kid. And if I were going to make a case for signing either him or Jira, I think he might be the more versatile piece.
Ohio State, A&M, and Florida are your other 3, and he's locked into those 4 schools: Auburn, A&M, Florida, Ohio State. He visited Florida this past weekend. He's going to A&M this weekend. He'll be at Auburn next weekend, and Ohio State after that.
Yeah,
and those are his 4 finals. No Mississippi schools.
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's Ohio State right now, but again, if Auburn does what it needs to do on the field this year, I think that one gets interesting come signing day.
WDE Mulk. If Zion Ely were to decommit, 5-star, number 1 overall player in On3 industry or On3-1, decommit from Maryland, would we become the number 1 threat? I don't think he has to decommit from Maryland. I think Auburn already is the number 1 threat. Does anybody disagree with that?
No. I don't really know who else is trying to flip him right now.
That's exactly what I wrote. I mean, there are schools.
Yeah.
You have to expect like an Oregon, Ohio State.
Right.
Sure.
The usual.
Completely agree.
But would Auburn be the number 1 threat if he was no longer committed to Maryland? I think that's a yes.
I think Auburn has the most connections to him right now. Like if you're talking like total people that are involved in his recruitment and that are on Auburn staff, I think they have relationships with that young man in his camp that give Auburn some advantages. But again, it's going to be more than just relationships on that recruitment. And so I think that leaves open the window to a lot of different teams to get involved, contingent on, what happens with Maryland, his deal there, Mike Loxley, lot to unpack on that recruitment.
Dark Horse _WDE, assuming they go out and prove it on the field this fall, does Auburn flip a 5-star this cycle? Well, Sadarian Morgan was likely going to be committed to Alabama. Braylon Womack could be committed to Auburn. If he's not, Zion Ely's committed to Maryland. I'm trying to think of some potential that Auburn's in for right now. Jira Edwards, if he commits elsewhere on July the 5th.
Jace Matthews, maybe.
Jace Matthews. Let me see who else is a 5-star that Auburn's in for.
because commitments are going to be popping off soon. I see a lot of 5 stars that are recruiting going elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think if Auburn
I hear
does
you.
what it's supposed to do
Yeah.
on the field, they're going to flip a 5-star.
Okay.
Ianacho, Ely, Tristan Keys, Tyler Atkinson. These are just some of the guys probably will visit or have visited. 5-star guys. Let's see who else. Cedarian Morgan, Kayshawn Henderson. Let's see, Braylon Womack, Anthony Tank Jones, Jaira Edwards. We still got some more. Who else is that? That's about it. Caden Prothrow.
Ooh. Yeah.
Xavier Crowell.
Of course, granted, with Georgia losing out on one of their top tight end targets, that one becomes even more important to them with Prothrow.
Yep. Let's see. PH Perry, 87. When is time to start questioning the lack of commits? I'd probably say December 2nd.
I'll play the game.
Let me finish. I'm sorry. They seem to have very little momentum. I understand it's the show me year for Freeze, but the lack of commits is concerning. Is it really, though? How many did Auburn have a year ago at this time?
No, I mean, it's similar numbers.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they had a similar number. I would tell you this. My panic moment will be if we're late August and they're not around like 15 commits. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit anxious about what exactly is transpiring and how in certain recruitments is Auburn at this point. Are they able to stay relevant enough for the turn, right? Now, Florida showed you, I mean, dude, that was tough sledding for Billy first part of last year. And then once you saw that he was going to come back, NIL was committed. They were starting to win ball games. They had something to build around. The narrative changed and they landed almost a top 10 class. But I think a little bit of anxiety for me if you're not around 15 commits.
Do you know how many Auburn had last year?
7.
At this time?
It's 7, I think.
I'm looking at it right now.
Me too. And it's tough for me to find 7.
So far, I've got Autry, Falk, Jordan Crawford, Alvin Henderson, and Ty Buster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who's the big guard that flipped to Florida? He was committed to Auburn.
Oh yeah, Tavares Dice.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan G was already committed.
Ryan G.
Cale Ellis.
And now, I mean, if you count your other tight end commit who was committed to you and then decommitted and then recommitted. And then you also had the kid from Tennessee that was a defensive tackle that decommitted and that tried to commit to Auburn again, and Auburn didn't take him. I think he ended up at Memphis.
I think Hollis was, that was, oh man, Kalen Edwards.
Yes, Caleb
sure
Edwards.
Was.
Yeah.
So 7 is what I've got.
Yeah. So 7, and that's what I was thinking off the top of my head. They were at 7 last year.
A couple days after, so June 4th, you had a couple, right?
If he would have asked this question next week,
yes,
I think it would have been somebody else that committed.
Donovan Starr, he was on June 6th, and you had Brody Scholl on June 7th.
Yeah, you started to get some real momentum come summertime.
Yep.
So no panic, man. PH Perry, this is pretty status quo. I mean, this is how they were a year ago. Nobody.
So what is it at? All right, 7 right now.
Yeah.
What if Auburn has 7 after July? Or 8?
Yeah.
I'm still not panicking.
I'm not panicking. Yeah.
But it depends on how many kids have made decisions. Because that's the other thing. Right now, we don't know all the decision timelines. Because when we start to see that come out, right, and you start to see this first wave of commitments, or as Jeffrey says, and I think it's brilliant, this is who my leader is. When you start to see that first wave and Auburn doesn't pick up some momentum, again, if Auburn doesn't double its number, like if you're not at 14 commits by September the 1st, yeah, I got a little bit of concern about where the direction of this class is, because I think 14 is a number that you can get to, hunker down, and then you can concentrate on the top end targets on your board to get you to around 20 to 22, which I think is what's going to be in this class. I think you're going to land about 20 to 22 kids, probably like 8 to 9 high-end pieces, and then what I would call Auburn core guys around that.
I like it. Before we go, we want to take a quick peek at the weekend that will be. Right now, some big dogs coming in. Emmanuel Iheanacho, 5-star offensive tackles coming in. He confirmed with me. Nolan Wilson, I thought he was a 5-star. No, he's not. He's confirmed with me. He's coming in this weekend. Jason Matthews has confirmed he's coming in this weekend. J.C. Anderson has confirmed he's coming in this weekend. Marquez Daniel, Claude Puma, Tiller, Tico Crittenton. Not a lot of
buzz on that one.
Yeah, and then
I
Gavin
think
Meyer. Curious to see if he's coming in or not. He was at least expected to. Mitchell Smith is an. What's that, Cole?
We'll check on it. I think Gavin Meyer's probably off.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And I think Tico Crittenton might be off.
And Travis is coming in. Mitchell Smith is another one, Cole, you might want to look into.
Yeah, he's a new addition, actually. I think somebody else put that up a different site. I think he told him he was taking.
Oh, really? Is he coming?
He's a newer addition, I know. So
okay.
That might be more legit.
I should have a better look at this Thursday afternoon, certainly Friday morning. But listen, just these top 8 guys or top 7. Let's take Tico off. But you're looking at Iheanacho, Nolan Wilson, Jason Matthews, J.C. Anderson, tier 1 guys across the board. Same for Daniel, Puma, and Tiller to an extent. I mean, you're talking about 7 tier 1 guys that right there.
Yeah.
Big wide receiver. Marcus Davis has got a big weekend with Jace Matthews and Marquez Daniel. Let's see, Nolan Wilson, Emmanuel. Look at that offensive tackle. You got Iheanacho and Puma.
Emily. What I said was attention would be on Puma.
Yes.
You
did say that.
Don't get over your skis on Iheanacho.
No, right. I just wouldn't do it, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, there's a reason I'm not in that business. But that's how I would approach it.
Big weekend. We want to wrap up this show with some how about yous. I've got 3 fellas. How about y'all?
Y'all go ahead, man. I got to.
Okay. Cole, you've got 5?
Yep. And I did it again because I try to bookmark them whenever I have one I really like. And I retracted 3. I will tell you that. I retracted 3. Yeah. Not going to tell you who it was. There's reasons why they were retracted, though. But I did again where I did the same guy twice. Yep. Same guy twice, so he gets a double or a times 2. North GA Tiger.
Man, that's a great one.
All right, that was one of mine, so make that times 3.
Oh, wow. Good for
hat trick for North Georgia Tiger.
He's had a good week.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. He had some really good ones today. I'm going to give him that +1.
Oh, my goodness. Is he the first quadruple?
Grand slam, dude.
Wow.
Man, that's a big honor.
And you know what? If anybody deserves it, it's him.
There you go.
Well, and BBP.
Yeah, BBP always.
Maybe Big Sexy.
No.
He did have a great one last week in the show.
Yes.
He's like,
yes.
Alan gave me that. Jeffrey Cole was like,
yeah, he's
all right. North Georgia Tiger times 4.
Gosh, that's crazy. I mean, I'm telling y'all, he had a good week.
North Georgia Tiger.
Nola Tiger gets one from me. Words of encouragement.
Oh, really? That's Nola, like N space O space L
space every single one.
Yeah,
it's all caps as well.
Yeah, of course. He's yelling at you.
Nola Tiger. Stu Pedasso has just owned me several times.
I just realized what that said.
I hear it now, too. I said it right, too.
Spell it. Yeah, you did. That's how I knew it.
Dude.
STUP.
PEDASSO. Stu Pedasso. His name's funny. He had a Happy Gilmore joke to Ford Tough, who I believe is Connor.
Yes.
Reincarnated.
Correct.
He's like,
yes,
me on the 9th green, dress nice. And at 9, dress nice. Happy Gilmore. So he got me with that and several other things. And South AL Tiger.
Yeah.
South AL Tiger.
Make that a ×2, please.
Him and North GA Tiger were tracking for sure. And then A Byers, WDE is my last one. He's deserved one for a while. I haven't given it, so he needed to get it this weekend.
Okay.
No, yeah. South Alabama Tiger had some real thoughtful comments, I thought, in the Landon Duckworth thread with the Fong bomb. Some valid points as it pertains to how you earmark quarterbacks.
There you go. Alan Head.
War Eagle Insider for his thread on Jared Harper, GOAT.
Won the Egyptian League or something?
I think it was I
Israel.
Yeah.
He's a good one. Met him in person, Alan. He's a good dude.
Where whatever happened to Sharif Cooper?
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while.
I mean, I think he's playing in Europe now. He was on a G League 2-way contract for a while, but I think he's over in Europe at this point. I know he had like a YouTube docuseries for a minute where he was doing his own podcasting. A lot of athletes are doing that, trying to get their narrative out there. But
in France,
okay, there you go.
Well, I'm glad he left Auburn early, right?
Zach said in Francis.
Well, and here's the thing: if NIL had been a possibility at that point, Sharif never leaves.
You're right. You're right. I didn't. Yep, you're right.
And
he was
the NCAA, how they handled that situation.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean, it was handled.
You're right.
Pretty poorly.
My apologies, Mr. Cooper.
And then one of Jeffrey's favorites, we'll go Skinny's Pimp, a.k.a. Doc Dumpster.
Have you ever thought, have y'all ever met him in person?
Doc Dumpster or Skinny's Pimp?
I think they're the same people, right?
Well, they're the same person, but yes.
No, you know what? There's two different handles on the board. There's a Doc Dumpster.
There is a Doc Dumpster, but he doesn't talk like.
Oh, okay.
No.
It actually it has to be. You have to turn autocorrect off in order to talk like this. Surely, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
you know, I think he disguises it. This is my theory on him. I think he disguises the way he says things because if you actually read what he says, he's kind of in the know. Like he kind of knows what's up a lot of the time.
Who is this?
Skinny's Pimp.
If he's one of those who types it out like that, I've ignored him. I can't deal with that.
I know. Who was it back in the day? Was it Hootie back in the day that did that? Yeah.
I did it for a while, like followed along and played. No, I just can't. I'm too old now. I ain't doing that shit.
You have to. He does have some good points where I kind of scratch my head and I go, now what? How do you know that? And that's pretty good. Like you know things.
All right, Johnny Knox 07, make sure that you get Jeffrey Lee's face superimposed on Clint Eastwood's body for like the Gran Torino pick. Next time you see Skinny's Pimp post, please.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We haven't given a Johnny Knox in a while. He always deserves one.
He does.
Johnny Knox 07, right?
Yes.
Yep. All right,
Johnny
put
Knox
me down
07.
for Johnny Knox 07. I have two guys that are new to me. The first one being Crundle the Great.
Yeah.
Interesting name. I haven't seen that.
I don't know if somebody changed their name or what, but he's been a good one. He was the actual Cole and I were trying to think of other night during the calling show. Al and I said, "What's the score, Zach?" And he said 0-0. And I said, "Who's winning?" And then I tried to come up with the movie, and I thought it was Leslie Nielsen, but Crundle the Great said no, it's from Ferris Bueller. When the principal walks in,
This is from Ferris Bueller. Yes.
What's the score? 0-0. Who's winning? The Bears.
Ferris Bueller. You said Naked Gun, I think is what we said on the show.
Yeah.
And then another one who's been fantastic. How about you to Cam and Cheese?
Yeah.
Are y'all familiar with him?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is he a long-time guy or is that a fairly new name?
I get him confused with Cheddar Biscuit because we had Cheddar Biscuit, remember?
Yeah. Well, Cam and Cheese has been fantastic. I've noticed him a couple of times with some good posts.
Second, how about you for him, I think?
I think it is too.
Yeah.
I believe you're right. It is. May the 20th. I had him a how about you? God dang. All right, I like old Cam and Cheese. I had me a Cam and Cheese sandwich today. And then final for me is how about you to by God mama, big mama, BYG mama,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
who Barner Becker was like, what's your road trip go to?
Yeah.
He said 8 Ball and a Bud Light.
You know what's funny? He probably ain't joking.
Oh me! How about you to Grundle the great Cam and Cheese Big Mama North Georgia Tiger ×4? That's an instant Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall
That's
of Fame
crazy.
guy right there.
I can't wait for his reaction on that.
Nola Tiger, stupid asshole. My God, how about you, big dog?
Y'all need to pay attention to him. He is.
I will. South LA Tiger ×2, A Byers WDE, War Eagle Insider, Skinny Spimp, and Johnny Knox 07. Fantastic week. And how about you to all you fine folks? Let's see. We're going to stay tuned, man. We're going to have it all weekend. We got the visitors winding up the midweeks. We've got the weekend visitors arriving. And we'll be following it along all at Auburn Live on 3. Don't forget about your Rowback now. Don't forget about your 20% off. Use the promo code Auburn20 on Rowback.com for a generous 20% off. New customers only. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off for all performance polos, shorts, and more with the promo code Auburn20. All right, folks, that's going to do it. We really appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching even more. For Cole Pinkston, for Alan Head, for Zach in the back, who stayed in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Stay out of the left lane. Deuces.